Today we're going to talk about something that way too many of us are silently going through right now, but no one really has a clue how traumatizing it can be for each and every one of us. It's dealing with the trauma associated with losing a job. Wherever you are in this hallway moment, I just want you to know that I see you. I've been there and I'm with you in that moment. And I just want you to be encouraged not to give up, but to continue to stay the course and to have faith, even if it's a minute, small seed of faith, to trust that it's going to be okay. That hurt and the pain of the words that people said to you or the things they did to you, that it is going to lessen. That you are going to come out on the other side. There's going to be a new season that you're going to experience joy again. Hey friends, if you're new to here, my name is Sherry and I am a Bible teacher and a curriculum developer and a art director, and I love to help people to go deeper in their faith, even in the moments when it's a little bit more difficult, because I know in those moments that it's harder to even see beyond the things that we're struggling with. And I've been there many times. And let me tell you, to be honest, this channel probably wouldn't be actually coming to fruition had it not been for a season of transition in my own life. A season where I had to work through the traumas that of the words people said, the traumas of the things people did to me that were uncalled for and unjust. And I had to work through the pain because the season wasn't going to change. The transition wasn't going to change. But what I could do is I could realize that I could respond differently, that I could heal the wounds in my heart, that I could heal the pain that was inside, that I could journal and draw and do all of the things that I needed to do to get past this season, go to therapy, whatever that looks like. I needed to do to find myself on the other side so that I wasn't feeling the hurt anymore. I wasn't feeling the words that were said. I wasn't feeling the constant jabs of the things people had done, but I was in a new place. Maybe not back to my bubbly 100% positive self, but that I was in a better place, a more healthier place. Because it takes time to go through grief. Anybody who's gone through grief knows that it takes time to do so. So whether you're on your first day of the new transition, a job loss, or whatever it is, or you're on your 100th day or your 300th day, know that I know the pain, and I know the up and down moments, the roller coaster of that season, that, if you want to call it that. Going into a new season, maybe losing a family member or moving across the country isn't just about the actual initial change that happens. It can feel, though, like you're losing a part of your identity, your routine, your stability, your confidence, your community, even maybe your church takes a hit. And if you work in ministry, sometimes it means you have to give up your community because you're moving to a different church to work, or whatever that looks like. But to be honest, even when you saw it coming, even when you saw the transition happening, sometimes it still knocks the wind out of you. It's grief. It's real trauma, and we have to work through it. And to be honest, what makes it harder is our society today doesn't always validate the trauma. They don't always validate the grief. They just say, oh, you just need to get past it. You'll bounce back. Everything will be okay. Everything happens for a reason. God closed the door so that he could open up a window. You've probably heard it all. I have, and I don't even need to keep going on with the examples. But what I'm trying to say here is that even though there might be even a small, minute piece of truth that maybe it does happen for a reason, maybe he did close the door, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt. It means that right now we need to sit in the suckiness, in the pain, in the grief. One of the biggest lessons I've learned in my life is that healing, not just from a job loss, but also from disappointment, from grief, from transitions, whatever, it's not just a straight line. It's not a linear path. And some days I often feel motivated and optimistic, and I'm just like, go get them, and I'm brainstorming new things and new ideas and hopeful. And then other days, it just brushing my teeth feels like an achievement. Like just even getting out of bed feels like I just should get a gold medal for it. And that's okay. Whether you're able to get out of bed, bounce up easily with exuberant energy, or you're just barely able to get out of bed. Because I can guarantee you're going to feel all of those emotions at different times in your transition journey. In fact, healing from this trauma often looks like a wound up ball of yarn. That the minute that you unravel one ball or one piece of this yarn, one string, you find another one. And you have to deal with that, whatever that emotion may be. And this season also isn't about checking off the boxes so that you can be in a new role, in a new place, and be continuously comfortable yet again as fast as possible. I know from my own experience, I have to be gentle with myself. I have to let myself feel the feelings. I have to sit in those feelings when I don't feel strong and not rush to move on because it makes other people more comfortable or it makes me more comfortable, even. Sometimes I have to just sit in those moments. I have to work through it, as painful as it is. So how do we hold on to hope when everything feels discouraging? I mean, I can say that I don't have all the answers, but one thing that I've known in just my time dealing with that in different seasons is I had to stay connected. Whatever that looks like, talk to people who remind you that of who you are, your true identity, outside of your job title, outside of the trauma or the grief that you're experiencing. I have some friends that don't even live in the community I live in, but we talk and we pray for one another. We text one another. We share our prayers. We share our lives. And even though we're not next door to one another, we're still able to encourage and support one another through the seasons that we go in. And even in those seasons where it may be a little bit more difficult. Another thing that I had to do is I had to get a journal because I had to take even the smallest wins seriously. Getting out of bed, check, that's a win. Updating my resume, let me celebrate that. Getting a job interview, let me go out for coffee and treat myself. Whatever it is, I had to celebrate the small, the big, even the wins of brushing my teeth. There were some days where the only win that I could write down was I got out of bed and changed my clothes. But the reality is that every day wasn't like that. There were days where I was excited. There were days where I was happy. There were days where I went through all of the emotions in one day even. But the thing is that I had to also just remember that I don't have to just look to that grand moment that I'm hoping for to be that big celebratory win. I need to celebrate the small moments. I needed to celebrate what was and may seem like a small little thing in my life because those moments are big and they pile up to something that's even bigger. And so when I looked back at the end of the year and I saw all those small moments, I realized that while my life wasn't moving in heaps and bounds, I did transform, I did change, I did heal. I came a long way from where I was at that one point, but it took me actually taking a journal and writing down those small moments every day, writing down 3 or 4 moments in my journal. And there was another time where I had taken this it's like a candle holder that I had, but instead of putting a candle in there, I actually tore up little pieces of colored paper and I wrote each day, I would write down a happy achievement or a happy moment or a word of hope in there. And I put it in this jar. And at the end of the month or the end of the year, I pulled all of those out and I would read them. And it helped me to remember that even in the midst of difficulties, there were still good moments. Even in the midst of a healing journey that I didn't think was actually moving along at all, that I did heal. So celebrate those small moments. However small they are, celebrate them. Another thing I had to do in this season was to remind myself of my strengths. How coming out of a season where I was just catapulted with fireballs of negativity and coming out of a season of trauma, I had to remind myself that I still had skills, I still had strengths, I still had things that I was good at. Sometimes I had to go do volunteering or I created something or I learned something new. I reminded myself that I actually am capable. And I love art. And so the one thing that I could do was also just create art. It's the one place where I could do all the things, I could make all the mistakes, and it was okay. It was a way to help me to calm my mind, calm my anxious spirit, and to remind myself that even though I may not be where I wanted to be, I still am successful. I still have strengths. I still have skills, and I still am valuable, even with what I have right now, and even where I'm at right now. And another thing I had to do, it's kind of like when I had to celebrate the wins, was I had to speak hope aloud to me. I had to encourage myself. I mean, I know it feels silly to speak hope aloud, but sometimes I had to remind myself that something good can still come from this. Words matter, and the words we speak to ourselves matter so importantly. If you're still worrying about what other people say or what they've said to you in the past, I just want to encourage you to speak words of worth and hope and love and joy and rest and belonging and value into your heart. Know that you're not alone in this, that you are successful, that the season, even though it feels heavy right now, it won't always be this way. Even if it feels like you are just trying to do your best getting out of bed in the morning, that's enough. You don't have to try to climb Mount Everest in a day. You just have to try to do one next thing. You just have to try to be who God needs you to be in that moment. And sometimes when emotions overwhelm you, you can't simply be everything that everybody wants you to be or do everything that everybody wants you to do. You simply just need to be. You simply just need to be in that moment, and you need to rest. The next day will have its worries of its own, and you can explore what you need to do and check off the to-do list in the next day, but today you just need to rest. So I want you to encourage yourself, and if it's anything of any hope or any help to you, I want to remind you that you are loved. If no one has told you today that you are loved, I want you to know that you are loved. You are valuable. You have the skills that someone needs. You are courageous. You are brave. You are just the epitome of beauty in the eye of God. I want you to remember that you are deeply loved by Him. So go out and be the beloved. Live this beloved life today as best as you can in this moment. And let's shine the love of God everywhere we go. So until next time, my friends, stay blessed and be loved.